Hi, I'm going to try and squeeze one more video in here before I lose my light. So this is our Saturday night dinner. I wanted to show you the world's easiest French fry recipe. I mean, you could buy frozen French fries and put them in the oven. I suppose that would be easier, but you're not really frying anything. This is actually fried French fries, and they're so easy. It's really worth knowing. These are Yukon Gold potatoes. Russets work as well, but you have to peel them. And as I've mentioned before, I am not a fan of peeling potatoes. These work beautifully. So all I'm going to do, you're going to want to cut up as many as you think your family will eat. We eat quite a few. So I have my bigger stock pot here. I usually fill this about halfway full for a family of 7. Just quarter these. If you want, you can make them smaller, but that means more work, okay? Just these are a nice wedge potato. It's like a steak fry. So we're just going to throw those in there until you have as many as you think you can eat. These actually are pretty good the next day too, if you want to eat them with some eggs. What are you eating? Chocolate. Lovely. Okay. This is about as many as we're going to eat. That's a lot of potatoes. So, your oil, this is just vegetable oil. I'm going to pour enough in here to not quite cover the potatoes. It's usually around 3 cups of oil, which compared to a lot of other ways to fry things, this is a very minimal amount of oil, which is another reason I like this recipe. So, I don't know how well you can see this, but oh, well, it's moving as I tip it. My potatoes are not all the way covered, just almost, because the oil is going to kind of come over and cover them up as it bubbles. You're just going to stick it on your stove or hot plate, as I have here, for, well, on high heat. Just crank it all the way up, and then you can just walk away. It's going to start slowly to bubble, slowly to boil, and then it's going to really rolling boil for about 20 minutes, maybe a little faster if you have a smaller pot. They're going to start to get kind of a pale golden. Leave them alone because they'll fall apart if you try to stir them around. Let them get nice and golden brown, and then you're going to want to get a slotted spoon and kind of get in there and stir them a little bit so the ones on the bottom don't burn. But that is all it takes to make a fabulous pot of homemade French fries. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. Okay, our fries have been going for about 25 minutes. I'll go ahead and zoom in here a little bit so you can see what they're going to look like. It's starting to turn a nice golden brown. You can see that the oil has not completely covered them, but they're still getting fully cooked. So I went ahead with a slotted spoon about 5 minutes ago and stirred them around just a little bit to make sure the ones on the bottom weren't burning. So I have a plate with paper towels, and I'm just going to scoop these out. Turn your heat off. Just be careful, it's hot. So this is all you're going to need to do. If you want, the original recipe I had for these had you cutting them into little, really thin fries, like a 1/4 inch little squares, and those are really yummy too. They do take a lot more work as far as chopping things, but if that's the kind of fry that you prefer, then by all means, go for it. All right, so there are my fries. They smell good. They look delicious. I'm just going to put a real hefty dose of salt over these. This is kosher salt, but you can use regular salts as well. I have some burgers frying behind me. Of course, these go with a lot of different meals. But that, my friends, is the easiest fried French fry that you will ever make. I hope you enjoy.